Hi there, my name is Michelle Nicolo Prentice, and you're listening to Mama's Lullaby podcast, where we celebrate you and your journey to and through motherhood, the good, the hard, and the scary, giving you a place to be nurtured and mothered. You deserve it. Welcome. Hey guys, it's Michelle. Please hit that like button and be sure to subscribe so we can keep you up to date on all the latest podcasts. Hi, my name is Michelle Nicolo Prentice, and welcome to my kitchen with my friends. You are watching the Mama's Lullaby podcast, and I'm so happy that you chose to join us today. Ooh, I am so psyched to have this talk today because we have the amazing, beautiful, talented, incredibly lovely, sweetest human I know, Linda Davis, here with us. And also another amazing, incredible, fabulous, brilliant young man who is my adopted son, BJ Kevin Jennings. I'm just used to calling you BJ. So
Call me BJ, that's fine.
Just Kevin.
Don't even worry about it.
Anyway.
We'll just put Kevin like BJ in quotes. Don't even worry about it. Yeah, that's great.
Anyway, BJ is helping me with this podcast and these interviews, keeping me on track.
Well,
keeping me in the zone.
As in time on track.
As in everything.
When there's two gals like this, somebody's got to be in control.
well, definitely I'm not in control. I know I don't run anything. Well, you know what? I'm grateful you are here. Yeah. I have had the privilege of meeting Mrs. Davis before, and so I know how amazing she is as well and how much you're going to love her. Mm-hmm. So make sure you hang on for the whole episode. But we have two goals here at Mama's Lullaby, and that is one, we want to celebrate the journey of motherhood. Every journey is special, every journey is unique, and your journey matters. And we want to make sure that you feel like there's a space where your unique experience is validated and seen as cool. Second, we want to make sure we spend time nurturing and mothering mothers. Mm-hmm. And so you have a place where you don't have to get everything right. You get to have a place where you get to still show up and have somebody love on you a bit. And that's what we have two amazing women do that for you today. And
we're hugging you right now.
That's right. That's right. We want you to feel hugged. And so why do we have a man hosting this podcast? Because he knows so little. He will ask really good questions. That's right. And so that's really why I'm here to hang out. And I get to hopefully also celebrate mothers because I just love moms. And so that's a part of it.
And you have a mom.
I have a mom.
And you have a wife that is a mom.
And I have a wife that's a mom. And so I'm really partial to moms. Yeah. And so with that being said, ladies, how about this? Why don't you introduce her and all of her amazing accomplishments, and then you can just maybe backfill some of that story.
Yes, that would be great. So if you don't know who Linda Davis is, she is a singer, an incredible singer, songwriter, entertainer. She co-wrote the duet, Does He Love You?
We actually have two writers that we want to give credit to. That would be Sandy Knox and Billy Stritch. These individuals wrote Does He Love You, the one Rita and I sang together.
Yes, she sang it
with which is 30 years ago. Some of these little mamas that's watching weren't even born.
They are probably not even 30.
I know. But anyway,
check
the song,
it out.
Go
Does
Back.
He Love You?
It's like the three-way tie kind of drama.
It's drama.
But anyway, Billy and Sandy wrote that song 10 years before Reba and I recorded it.
Is that right?
It laid around. There's stories like that in Nashville especially, of songs that just find its way eventually, but a decade.
That's absolutely true.
And it worked out real good.
And you know what's so funny about that song is when my husband, Mark, hired me to sing in a show in Phoenix, which is how I met him. He produced this variety show in Phoenix. The other female singer, Vicki Ray, and I, we did that song.
Whose part did you do?
I was the Charlotte. Or not Charlatan, but
the bad girl.
That's
me. I was yes.
We're the bad girls.
But not bragging.
We're not bragging.
No,
but
it's just acting.
It's just acting. That's right. But anyway, so we would stand on opposite ends of the stage, right? And we'd sing the song, and then we get closer and closer till we're in that fighting stage. But what was so funny is one night, Vicki, her voice cracked. And I'm over there on the edge, like, don't laugh, don't laugh, don't laugh. And I'm digging my nails into my hand. And then we get close and close and close. And I'm looking, I'm like, if I look at her, I'm going to laugh. So I'm looking over here. I'm not looking at her, but it looks from the audience viewpoint, I'm looking at her. And for 1 second, I look at her and she's doing the same thing. And then I start laughing. And we just literally
It turned into a comedy.
We just laughed the entire, it was awful. I mean, lucky we didn't get fired. But
well, that's so funny because her voice cracked and my elevator broke one night. So fell through the stage. It happened to
You
Reba
fell
too.
through the stage?
Well, you've heard that your elevator doesn't go all the way up to the top. It literally happened that night in Bakersfield. I'll never forget it because I love Buck Owens. He was in the audience, and that's the night my elevator didn't go all the way up, and I fell through, and then I had to, the stagehand was under there helping me get up, and he helped me get up, and I just like hoofed it up. And Reba was standing up there on one of her little pedestals, and she was doing the laughing thing.
No.
And I mean, she had to keep it together because the show goes on,
Yes, it does.
as did yours.
Yes, it did.
But there's funny, I mean, when you do live performances, you just have to keep on going,
Yes, you do.
even if you laugh.
But I digress. Sorry. I just
Well, no,
had to tell that story 'cause-
what about this? That's really the perfect segue into what I want to ask you both next. So I'm just going to take my opportunity. So the song you two have written together with also Mr. Prentice is called "I'm Losing It," and so I would imagine when you are kind of performing, there are times when you feel like you might be losing it, and then there are times as mothers when you feel like you might be losing it, and so. First, we want to have Mr. Prentice. You want to come here and just peek your head in so the adoring audience can
Our
see
third
your,
rider.
Yes.
He was like the cleanup.
Yes,
right?
yes.
We got it. Here he is. He knows things about
I'm the
mothering.
janitor. I'm the musical janitor.
That's a great way to put it.
It's just about right.
We
Yep.
started
It's a term
over
of
at Lin-
endearment.
That's right.
Yeah.
We started at Linda's house. We got the verses together, and then when we got to the bridge, that's where
We
Mark
needed
helped us
something.
get to the bridge, and so
Objectivity.
James Brown said, "Take it to the bridge." And James Brown said it. I believe it, and that settles it. No, I just wanted a chance to hang around. Like, right, this is where I want to be, right
there you
between
go.
Marky's Angels. Anyway, today I am the most affordable production house,
Yes.
so I'm gonna go back.
But
to
you're
the
not
camera.
cheap.
No,
Definitely not.
I am easy.
Like Sunday morning.
I love it. So, I mean, clearly, I remember very clearly when the first time I heard this song, and I remember the joy and the fun in this song. And so when you hear about a collection of lullaby from moms, you don't expect to hear this song coming, but you're grateful that you did. You're like,
It's a release.
It is. It was such a release. And so, first of all, go ahead and take us back more into like what inspired the song and how you two kind of approached it together with Mark. And then I have some follow-up questions about your own experiences about losing it.
Sure. You want to start?
I will. So when you invited me to be a part of this production and the body of songs and the work that you were wanting to do, I heard Marcus humming, "Oh my gosh, God Bless the Broken Road."
Yeah.
So, I mean, Ballad Dear.
Yes.
Among other things. I mean, he's had so many hits, but that, and then Mike, whom I love.
Yeah.
So I knew were going to be plenty of just the lullaby ballad that you would think when you hear the word lullaby, and I felt like, but there's got to be a break from that, which those are beautiful. I mean, that's probably what you drift off to sleep listening to, but there's got to be some fun and humor in being a mom because it's kind of dirty. It's kind of like, am I getting this right? I'm dirty. I haven't had a shower.
Yes.
But just there's so many things that come with being a mom that are not easy, but you gotta just laugh and just keep going and not get stuck.
I'm so glad that that's how your mind was thinking that day because I did not even think about writing funny songs. I was totally thinking relax, soothe,
tender.
calm. But boy, do we need a belly laugh from time to time.
We gotta laugh at ourselves.
Yes.
And at our baby.
Yeah.
That little thing, our grandbaby that is needing anything and everything and looking up, and it's like, okay, they can't do anything for themselves. So, and I don't know what you need. So we're just gonna make the best of this and get through it. And if we can do that laughing with some humor, I think we're better off.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So
And a
so
bath.
she's in a bath. But that's what we were talking about, just like all the things that you go through your day and you're like, I haven't showered in 2 days. I'm still wearing the same shirt and there's spit up all over. I think I might have told you, so on my street, there were 3 of us that were pregnant at the same time with my last baby in 97. And one of them had the baby, and we were doing a sip and see. In the South, they call it a sip and see, where after you've had the baby, then you have like a little baby shower so people can see the baby. Anyway, this one friend of mine, she had this beautiful pink top on, like a chiffon or some sort of very nice material. down the back, and her hair was all done and makeup. You know, she probably hadn't dressed up in, you know, since she had the baby. But down the back of her shirt was throw up. Spit up, you know, not spit up. She had no idea, and I didn't tell her because I thought, what's the point?
Difference does
she
it
feels
make?
good. Let her
She's
feel
here.
good. Hopefully she'll never even notice it. She'll take it off at it, you know. But anyway, that's how we started writing this, was just talking about all those different things that you experience.
Those predicaments that
I
we
love
find
it.
ourselves in that we do manage to get through.
Yeah.
I love it. So first of all, let's just stroll down memory lane. Let's think about what experience comes to your mind from your own journey. Like one that's just for you. Like, oh, when I think about that one thing, I look back and I got through that. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. I mean, at the time I swore I wouldn't get through it. I swore in the moment it was so heavy or so crazy, or I just felt so exhausted. But one where you look back and like, I can now remember just getting through something that felt a little crazy at the time.
You want
in your motherhood journey.
Okay, so let me set the record straight. I have 2 daughters.
Okay.
And our daughters are 14 years apart. So there's like 2 only children that I bared, and me and my husband Lang raised. So Hillary's just turned 38. I don't know. Well, it's all over the news, so it's not a secret.
Oh.
You know that.
Well, tell everybody, in case people
Google-
don't know who Hillary, I'm sure they will once you say who she is, but they may not know her by
Well, she sings with the band Lady A.
Okay.
And so, you know, in the Google and all that, they tell everybody's
In the
age.
Google, yes.
So and then Riley Jean is going to be 24. So
24?
Yes. So there's a 14-year gap. So each time was like the first time. And each time we were surprised and shocked that we were going to have a baby. And it's just so bizarre how God delivered us, our children, and how he knew I was a one at a time kind of a mama. You know, I have grandchildren now. And so there's a 10-year-old and identical twin daughters who are 6. So talk about like chaos. You did yours more traditional like that.
Well, the
right?
first 2, yeah.
So, and I love it because grandparenting is
Yes,
a little different.
It is indeed.
But 2 at the same time, close or whatever, like normal people do it. God knew I wasn't set up for that. So anyway, one of the things that I remember happening with Hillary was she was still very, very, very young. And I don't know if you remember, they just flail their hands around and they can't control their hands. She scratched her eyeballs. And I was changing her and on the changing table, and she was just like, her eyes were just clenched like this. She wouldn't open her eyes. And I thought, what's happening to my child? I mean, I was already enrolling her into the Tennessee Blind School. I mean, I thought that you just rush to the worst case scenario when you're, and so I went down the street to my neighbor who just had a baby too, but she also had one a couple of years older, so I figured she's good at this. So I go get my friend Linda, her name's Linda too, and she comes down and she just kind of inspects and looks and really she said, I think she's gonna be okay. I think she probably just scratched herself, without trying. And she made me feel a lot better. So that's what girlfriends are good for.
Yes.
That's what this podcast can really be good for, because it might talk you off the ledge.
Yeah.
And don't go sign them up for anything. Hillary also kind of had she kind of walked a little bit. What do you call it?
Pigeon-toed?
So I was, I'm thinking, what do we need to do here?
Right.
And it's not that big a deal usually.
Yeah.
So that is, if there's anything I can impart, just don't get overly worried about anything yet, because usually it's just our motherly emotions that are just like, we want to do it so right and so perfect, and we're not perfect, and we don't know if we don't know.
Yeah.
But there's somebody down the road that might. So call your friend or your mom.
Yeah, and that is the other part of Mom's Lullaby, is I want to, we don't live in multiple generational homes anymore where you had the grandmother or the aunties and they'd already been through it, so they could be a calm influence. Sometimes so many young women, and even not just necessarily young women, but first time moms, they're having babies later in life, they need that that sort of sage advice from when
Yes.
we've already been there, done that. That's what Mama's Lullaby is all about. Is
Yes.
how can I bring together as many of us, because everyone has had different experiences, but it might be something that you're experiencing now that you just heard Linda say, like, okay, I will relax. That's my goal. But the thing for me is, well, I have so many things like I'm thinking about, but one of the times is Johnny, my youngest, my daughter he was climbing up the steps. He was like, I don't know, 7 months old. He was just crawling, 7, 8 months old. And she had him up the stairs. We have very steep stairs. And she got him to the top of the stairs and she thought that he was up, and she went to go open the door and he fell backwards and fell all the way down the stairs.
My Lord.
On wooden stairs. And Mark and I were upstairs on the other side of the house working out, and we hear this scream, this guttural scream. And it sounded, you know how when you hear something like, your brain tells you it's something even though it's not. I thought of an animal, like a wild animal in my house, and I ran down the stairs and I heard Gabby say, Johnny fell off the stairs, Johnny fell off the stairs. And I'm thinking he fell off the banister.
Goodness.
And I saw him and he was shook up, but he wasn't hurt, surprisingly. They're almost like rubber when they're
Yes.
little like that.
Yes.
And I had a neighbor who was a nurse, and I went and called her. She came over, she looked him over, he was fine. So, but yeah, it's like that panic mode that we get into for a lot of things. If you can learn to take a breath. I noticed the nurse was not panicky. She was
Yes.
very calm. Now, probably part of that is her training.
Yes.
But it's one thing that if I can impart anything, before you freak out, take some breaths.
Yes.
And don't go to the worst case scenario right off the bat. Just know that things will work out, and just keep kind of
And
pulsing.
trust yourself and your instinct of, okay, this has potential of not being good.
Yeah.
So you notice that. That's good. But now calm yourself and just let's see how it's going to turn out.
Right.
Because we'll ask somebody, if we have to go to the doctor,
Yeah.
that's fine. You know what? Speaking of which,
What?
I might have went to the doctor about things maybe that I shouldn't have because I was anxious.
Oh, yeah.
And I really, there were a couple of times that they made me feel silly. I didn't like that.
No.
It's almost as if they thought I should know better, but so if you have that kind of experience,
Yeah.
do not hang on to that, because you're not silly, you are concerned, and you just want to follow up and make sure. So I know those are experiences that can
Yeah.
hang around and really mess you up.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. I think I love that you prefaced that with not going to worst case scenario is not the same as not trusting your intuition.
That's right.
They're different.
That is right.
Right. One is you using your imagination
Right.
of what could go wrong, and one is you saying, but what do I feel is true here? And so I think that's really awesome. And I appreciate that distinction.
Don't you think God put that in us, mamas? Whether we acknowledge it or realize it yet, I just believe He knew when we were created that we were going to need something, an extra sense about these kids that He's entrusting us with, that we just need to have something different. And that is that intuition. And there's just something to celebrate about that.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
trust
Not
in
ignore
yourself.
it.
Right.
Celebrate it.
Learning to trust yourself.
Yes.
Learning to trust your, like you said, it's a difference between fear and an imaginary
Panic.
outcome of the worst case, and trusting, like, something just doesn't feel right.
There's
Trust it, because it's that first hit you have, right?
there's a knowing.
Yeah, and you just usually, oh, it's crazy, but just learn to trust
Follow
yourself,
through.
and that's where quieting yourself, learning to do some meditating, praying.
Yes.
To me, meditation is prayer.
Yes, it is.
And it's going quiet and letting God talk to you, like listening, getting your brain's going to be like da 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 da, but just learn to kind of let it be clouds and move off to the side, and then open your vessel to hear.
Yes.
And you will. The more you do it, the better you get at it. But when you're young and you're new and you're just like,
I think
don't for it.
be on the lookout. If it's not your own mama or your aunt or somebody that's family, maybe it's someone in your church, your friend group, just find and lock into some other mother that you connect with, that you can call, like I did my friend Linda,
Yes,
because
that's
my
right.
mama was in Texas. Your nurse, you happen to
Yes.
have all the skills of a nurse. That's reassuring.
Yeah.
But there's bound to be somebody that you can trust and ask questions. even if it's not your immediate family or someone like that.
Right.
Look for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I hear you both saying is someone can validate your concerns even if they don't agree with your assessment of the situation.
Yes.
And so if you can find someone who can at least validate your concerns, you can trust this person wants to support you in that journey. So I am curious to kind of pivot a bit from that and say, what about how you two found humor? Right? Because I would imagine with the same kind of weight of responsibility and the natural concern, and maybe if you're a first time mother, you are feeling a lot of anxiety about maybe what you don't know, but how you two eventually came to find the humor in your journey.
That's my nature in my journey of life, period. I have to laugh after I know that everything's going to be all right, or at least it's okay for the moment.
Right.
There's a little bit of false sense of security in just general life. You just have to go with right now, and find the beauty in right now, find the solace and the blessings, and then the humor.
Yeah.
I just think it's healthy.
Yeah. Well, we just sort of started talking about the things that you deal with as a new mom, right? So, should we just read them?
I love the lyrics.
Yeah. Do you want to read?
Go ahead. You got your glasses
I'll
on.
read. Okay. It's been a long. Well, first of all, I start the song out like this. Right? Have you ever felt like that?
I think so. Every few minutes.
It's been one long, eternal day.
Have you ever felt like that?
No bath, no food, and no pay. You've been crying since 2. Don't know what else to do. You're fed, you're dry, you're okay, but I'm losing it. This is not my finest hour. I'm losing it. I just need 5 minutes in the shower. Don't call the white coats yet.
Not yet.
But I'm losing it. All right. And then the second verse goes, you want me to go on?
Keep going.
Second verse goes, I sure could use a nice hot long soak. What? Before I have
A stroke.
it may be a dream, but I can almost feel that steam. And some of you girls will not get this reference because you're too young. But those of us that are 50 and above,
Remember the commercial?
come on, Calgon, have your way with me. Calgon was this bubble bath.
Yeah,
right?
it was the little granules that you put in the bathtub.
And it
with
smelled good.
smelled
And
good.
it was like, you
Sometimes
see that.
it was greasy, kind of oily. In fact, speaking of Marcus Hummon,
Yeah.
Cowboy Take Me
Oh,
Away.
yes, that's right.
That's where, if I'm not mistaken,
That's
he probably
right.
borrowed that
Calgon, Take Me
idea.
Away. Yeah, that was this Calgon, Take Me Away.
Yes.
So yeah, that's where we got that. Come on, Calgon, have your way with me, because I'm losing it. I don't even know my name. I'm losing it. I got to get my head back in this game. Can I call my mother yet? But I'm losing it. And then the bridge goes, oh baby, my sweet baby, now you're smiling, you're drooling, you're cooing, you're wooing me back to my sanity. Now I'm losing it.
Oh,
I'm so happy I could
yes,
cry. Now I'm losing it. And baby, you're the reason why I'm so overjoyed, because I'm losing it.
It twists
that little turn.
because what felt like an endless, this is just miserable for both of us.
Yeah.
It's like, but I love you so
Yeah.
much. You're so cute.
Exactly.
How can I be frustrated with you?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, okay, I'm over it.
Yeah.
What's next?
That's it.
I love that. So first of all, thank you for reading those lyrics.
Yeah.
So you need to hear the song, because I think one is like the way you two put that together musically with the team and Mark. I mean that feels, it's so amazing when you hear it. But as a husband who literally had his wife literally walk up to him maybe 48 hours ago and say, "I'm going to go to the shower. Make sure no child follows me."
This is your theme song
I'm
for her
40.
theme
I'm 48 hours past. Someone's like, "I'm leaving this room. Make sure no one follows me." It's like, please lock the door though, because these kids are sneaky. They will turn into a football player, and they're ducking and dodging, and you're like, I swore they were right here.
Yeah.
I'll turn my back to make dinner, and I'm like, they're sneaking to find mom.
Yeah.
So I have fresh memories of observing
Yes.
someone in that state of like, you know what? I just want to bathe. That's all I want to do is bathe. For you all looking back, Was it the spots where you're like, I'm on the edge and all I can either do is laugh or lose it? Is that typically where you started to discover the humor of it all? Or was it you kind of recalling back to moments and like, oh my gosh, I'm fighting for showers now? And it's almost the humor of how ridiculous it seems that maybe, you know, I suppose like 40 hours before a child's born, you're doing whatever you want.
Yep.
48 hours later,
It's all about them.
It's all about them.
Yep.
How can someone who's watching who maybe hasn't quite found the way to find the humor just yet, what can they do? Yes, jump in.
Sleep. If there's any way you can get sleep, things are funnier when you're rested.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's a good point.
It can be so tiresome, and you know, depends on the child. If he or she is restless and unable to get comfortable or whatever is going on, but sleep deprivation is just so
That's
hard.
why they use it for torture. I mean, they do. They use sleep deprivation for torture.
They do.
I think, you know, I go to the park with my granddaughter a lot, and I meet a lot of moms, and a lot of them are single moms, and they don't have support. So for a mom who doesn't have support to be able to sleep, if you can't get sleep, you know, maybe sometimes you can just like remember something funny, you know, purposefully, like go to a memory.
Or listen to this song.
Or just listen to this song. Yes, listen to this song.
And know from where our heart is, those, you know, that we wrote it from, because it's not to make light of serious situations.
not at all.
It is to just find a release and a little break in the heavy and the hard.
Yeah.
To just lighten up and trust ourselves, really.
That's right.
Because we're coming back around to that is just the light of our life.
That's right.
But right now that light has just put ours out.
Yes.
Because I'm too tired.
Yeah, for a moment, it's like, I can't anymore. But you know, even just laughing when you don't feel like laughing, because there's yoga, laughing yoga. And even just putting a smile on your face and fake laughing literally changes the chemistry in your body.
Yes.
So even if you don't feel like laughing, if you just start some silly thing like that, you know, I hope that
It
makes you
is
laugh.
contagious.
But I mean, you know, it sounds ridiculous, but it really does change the state. So if you're like, I'm losing it, it makes you breathe. It makes you, you know, laugh and breathe. It's just, it's empowering. So that's something you can do even if you don't have any sleep and you can't get any sleep because you don't have anyone to help you.
Before I come to you, Ms. Davis, I expound upon, so I have no support. I wanted you to finish that thought. Like, I have no support.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I can take that nap. You said just make sure you're slowing down to maybe even intentionally recall joyful moments.
Sweet memories.
Because, you know, in our minds, we go in and out of trances all the time. All a trance is when you're not in the moment. So if you're thinking about something in the past, you're in a trance, right? If you're thinking about something in the future, you're in a trance. You're not in the moment. So you can go anywhere you want to go in your mind, truth be told. Right?
That's good.
And
There's
so,
a song waiting to be written.
well, let's do it. But you know what I mean? So one way that I do this is, you know, you close your eyes, you take a breath. You go, sometimes just even a place in nature. If you don't have a happy memory or funny memory, sometimes people don't. Sometimes they have a really hard time finding a happy memory, or go somewhere in nature that you would love to be or that you like to be. And when you're there in your mind, just notice how it feels, notice what you see, notice what you smell, and notice how it makes you feel. Even just that alone, your mind is so powerful that you can literally transport yourself somewhere else for just a moment, and that will calm your nervous system down. It's very powerful.
And I think the mood of your home and your surroundings, when we're uptight or stressed, kind of everything around us, if there's other children in the house, or if you have a spouse or partner, you just are kind of revving everybody else up too, which is very, you know, obvious, but still we can control the whole tone of the house if we're able to maybe do what you just described.
learn to self-soothe our, you know, and get ourselves in a different state. Sometimes it's preservation, it's mental preservation.
Yeah, I love that, and I think that's really powerful. I appreciate both of you sharing that. And again, to reflect back what I'm hearing, not to tell you amazing moms what to do. I hear you both also saying, leverage what you can. Like there is a reality of, depending on your season, you've got lots of littles, maybe you have kids in different stages, and one has a very demanding schedule. I would imagine the 14-year-old, you have a 14-year-old niece that has places to be.
Yes.
And you have a newborn that's
Yes.
like, I want to be sleeping actually
Yes.
right now, and so there's demands on that.
Yes.
So no matter how your situation looks, to take advantage of what you can, because there will be moments when you're limited.
Yeah.
But leaning into what you can do to give yourself the peace you need to move forward is really cool. That's awesome.
You know what just came up in my spirit thinking about parents who have some children with challenges, and whatever those are, that just requires more than maybe their other children or other families' children. I just think about how lonely they might feel from time to time about they do not have the support. They do not have their mama close by or someone, and that hurts my heart. And I know that's happening all around our world, in our neighborhood, our community. But that's where, if there's any chance you can plug into a church. I mean, I always think if you have a church family, that can be a place, a good, safe place to start. I know there's bad experiences everywhere.
Sure, of course.
But you don't give up looking and trying, because we need help. Sometimes we need an extra set of arms or another lap.
We need a community, and that's really what Mama's Lullaby is about. It's bringing a community online to you to support and help in any ways that we can think of to help. And so I hope that as we develop more podcasts, we talk about more subject matter, we bring on more sage mamas and grandmamas and aunties and even women who, like, I didn't carry this son, I didn't bring him into the world, but I've mothered him in different ways that helped his mom. And I know that the other people have mothered my children. And so everyone has an important role in our society where children are concerned. And if people know and can find that friendship somewhere, whether it's church or, maybe at the park you might meet somebody, or I don't know.
Another mama at school.
Yeah.
You need each other.
Just reach out. And if you're a shy person, because some people are very shy, and it's very hard for them to make friends, it's okay to just ask. It's okay to just ask somebody, hey, would you like to, go have coffee? Or, you just have to put yourself out there. It feels uncomfortable at first, but you just do it.
You may be making a friend for life, though.
I've made most of my friends. Hi, I'm Michelle Prentice. You don't know me, but I'd like to know you.
Yes,
it's a weird thing to do. It's uncomfortable, but I have made some. Actually, Patrice in there is how I met her.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but anyway, just
no,
thoughts.
that makes sense.
Thoughts.
Well, first of all, thank you both for sharing.
Yeah.
And I think more than anything, what I hope for you is that you hear that if you are losing it, that's a normal thing to feel, and whether that comes day to day, moment to moment, if it feels like it's constant, that you're not alone, and that the feeling of that doesn't affect how great of a mom you are, and that what's required of you is a lot, and so hopefully you will be able to find a moment of peace, but hopefully also find joy and laughter on the other side of what you're in right now. And so what I want to ask you to do is, you can actually hear I'm Losing It. So if right now, if you go to Apple Music or Spotify or wherever you like to stream your music, you can hear I'm Losing It by these two amazing women and one good man. How about that, Mark?
Yeah,
I didn't forget you. And so we want you to do that right now. You can also hear all of the songs on Volume 2 at this point. For this album. You'll be able to hear Volume 2 and buy it on mamaslullaby.com. So if you can actually hear all the songs on Volume 2, including I'm Losing It, on mamaslullaby.com. And with that being said, I want to say thank you for joining us. And we want you to join us next time for another episode of Mama's Lullaby Podcast.
Thank you so much. Come back. Bring your friends. Come to my kitchen.
It's been one long, eternal day
No bath, no food, no pay. You've been crying since 2, don't know what else to do. You're fed, you're dry, you're okay, but I'm losing it. This is not my finest hour, I'm losing it. I just need 5 minutes in the shower. Don't call the white coats yet, but I'm losing it.